the NHRC, where the November 11th, 1994 commemoration is taking place. The National Human Rights Commission, Victim Center, Ministry of Justice are all expected to send their representatives to give a statement. For all of you following us on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, the session is just about to start. The commemoration of November 11, 1994, victims who were slaughtered in the country and their bodies were so stay tuned. This is just about to start very shortly. Please.
Put it back and cards and the 10,000 doctors until after they have hopefully soon. Long overdue, right?
Need more stuff.
Yes, perfect. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ya, Imam.
Nah, ya.
Ya, mana ada? Wah, tengah sebelah. Alhamdulillah. Ya, tengah sebelah. Ini mana? Ya, mau lulus. Okay. Yes. So you want to have the statement of the victim center? You're giving the statement on the victim center, right? You're giving the statement on the victim center.
Yeah.
So as I said, you have to put your booking at 11.
Yes.
So then you will so they will give their statement and then you will the statement.
Yeah, I need to no problem.
Apparently.
So I'll just.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, good morning everyone. Welcome to the November 11 commemoration event. And we're happy to have all of you here from the, okay, so I'm here as somebody who supported the April November 11 Victims Who Organized. My name is Aissatou Jame. I work with the Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violations. Though I am on leave, but I have to be here to help. And I welcome representative from Commissioner Lee, representative coordinator of the Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violations, special advisor on the post-CRC, Ms. Ida Person, Mansour, head of legal, National Human Rights Commission, and our media personnel here today, and victims, all the victims of November 11, who are here today to represent their family, and Mr. Balo as well, who had headed this commemoration event today. But I will hand over to Sarah, who's going to chair the event today. Welcome to the commemoration of November 11 event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aisha. Thank you for being here, even though you're on leave. We really appreciate that. And for supporting the team, the group, November 11 group. Good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Siranda, and I'm chairing this meeting today. And just walking you through the agenda and basically going through the program and doing a short introduction of the November 11, what it is all about. But as in our tradition in this country, before we begin any event, we pray, we ask for Allah's blessings, and we take it from there. So if we can pray, Imam, you can kindly lead us in prayer. We have our Imam with us. Thank you very much.
Please join me with our blessings. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا اللهم يا قاضي الحاجات ويا مجيب الدعوات اقضي حوائجنا وانصرنا صدق يا رب العالمين اللهم علمنا ما جهلنا وذكرنا ما نسينا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا يا اله رب العالمين اللهم ارنا حق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا باطلا باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين.
And I'll just join Aisha in welcoming everybody here present today for making it. It's been 30 years, 1994 to 2024. 30 years is not 30 days. A long time that the families of the have been going through. Only they know what they have been going through. We can only imagine what the families have been going through for the past 30 years, and still the struggle continues. And we hope that today, I think one of the days that we are here again gathered will be a day that will be hopefully a change. We'll start seeing more rapid change. Minister of Justice being here, they know our cry from the victims all over. The pace that the process of justice and reparations is going on, we all can do better. And we hope that this today will be another event that will really give us another booster to keep the flames burning, to keep moving. November 11, we all know about one of the biggest atrocities that this country has ever seen. In our history, really, in terms of the number of people that were killed in one single day. The TRC, we all heard about what happened, alleged coup plot, and soldiers were lined up and shot at point blank. I don't need to go through the entire process, entire story, because I know how traumatizing it is usually for the families. And but we know that this event really has put so many families, so many Gambians, push them down to even being more vulnerable in our society and abandoned pretty much for the most part for those 22 years that the former president reigned, and left to fend for themselves, particularly the women, the wives, the mothers who were left behind to fend for the families, to take care of the young without much support. I think looking at Abdulaziz always reminds me of how long this has been. Abdulaziz was less than 1 year old at that time. You cannot imagine how the family survived during that period up to now. So really for me, it is about the mothers and the family members who kept them going, who made sure that they were here today and being functional and effective citizens in this country. So really, I want for us to take a moment to thank the mothers and the family members who took care of them to this point and to have the strength to be here today and to continue going. So please join me in a round of applause for the families of the November 11, the mothers, the uncles, the grandparents who took on the support that these families needed to be here until now. A significant part of our history that we cannot and should not and must not forget at all. Not just because of justice and reparation, but also to make sure that this never happens again. I don't think anybody would wish what happened to these families or anyone, even your worst enemy. So as a country committed to never again, these events are very important in reminding us of where we came from and reminding us and showing us really the path of where we need to be going in terms of making sure that these things never happen again. We don't have we don't create or have that environment or promote in any way or shape. And having this event at the National Human Rights Commission today is a very significant, really, it's very significant. The National Human Rights Commission standing here for the country, protecting and promoting human rights. So it's a very significant venue for me that we are having this event here today in the context of never again. And I'm sure we'll all agree that the National Human Rights Commission has been doing a great job in promoting and protecting the rights of people and helping people seek justice. So thank you very much to the National Human Rights Commission for the support that you've been giving, not just the victims of the human rights violations, but all Gambians in promoting and protecting human rights for all people in the Gambia and people beyond the Gambia, because when we have, Gambia is not alone, we are part of a sub-region, we are part of the region, and we are part of the global community. So when we have peace and stability, it is essential to, and it will spill over and move on to other countries. So thank you very much to the National Human Rights Commission. Given the late start, I will not continue dwelling on this. I don't know if we have any arrangements for some victims to share their stories at some point, but we will move on. Also, the Minister of Justice, here represented by NHRC, the Special Advisor to the Minister of Justice on Transitional Justice, and I think Sabi is also here. They have asked for indulgence to allow them to give their statement first, as they have a meeting at 11 o'clock. I will hand over to Ida, Ms. Ida Person, to give a statement on behalf of the Minister, and we will move on. So the agenda, as you may see, once Ida speaks, we will now continue with the Victim Center, given a statement by the National Coordinator, Adam Jalo. Then we will have a statement by the UNDP, National Human Rights Commission, and the closing remarks by the November 11 chairman. Thank you very much, Ida. Please, yours.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to everybody. I join you all in remembering today the November 11 victims, and really taking a moment to pray for everyone that has passed during the former regime, not just November I do apologize. I wanted to be here the whole day. We have started a little bit later than we intended to. That means that I do have to leave during the program now. But nonetheless, my colleague is here to stay with you the whole day. And I need not be here physically to understand what you want or to work on what you want. In fact, the reason why I'm leaving is to do exactly that, to continue the work. It certainly has been a very long time of waiting. The TRC investigated very thoroughly what happened on November 11th and left the government of the Gambia with recommendations. Some of these recommendations speak to reparations. Some of them speak on justice issues, and some of them on memorialization. These are all matters that Sarah just spoke of in the opening remarks, in her opening remarks. My purpose here today is to reiterate that there is a will to work on these issues and that they are being worked on. The establishment of the TRC is a reflection of the government's will to have found out the truth about what happened over 22 years and to create an impartial record of it and to come out with recommendations. The acceptance of the TRC recommendations is a reflection of the government's will to implement what the recommendations, what the TRC has said, must be implemented to ensure never again. Out of the 265 recommendations that were made, 263, all but 2, we will implement. The fact that there has been work going on this whole year and in previous years to establish a reparations commission with the mandate, the capacity, the know-how of how to give, grant reparations is also a demonstration of will. I'm happy to know that November 11 victim specifically has been working with others in the selection of the commissioners for the reparations commission. So that person within your group knows how diligently the government and others are working to make sure that the best commissioners are there for the reparations commission. And in addition to that, the sales of Janus mansion in the US has been dedicated to the reparations fund, that being $2.5 million. So we need that reparations commission to be up and running as soon as possible because we know it's been very long, especially since the TRC closed down the interim reparations program for this reparations commission to come on board and to be able to implement reparations in a comprehensive and fair manner. These are all work that is going on to ensure that reparations is given as quickly as possible and as diligently as possible. Besides reparation, there's also been a lot of work happening on ensuring that there's justice. Those persons that committed these crimes, the most serious crimes, and have the most responsibility, that there is justice. So we know without justice, there cannot be reconciliation. So on that front, I thank the National Assembly members for hearing the government and our cries that there must be a special accountability mechanism that seeks justice for victims and for the whole nation. So the establishment of a special prosecutor's office is going on. Similarly, there's a selection panel, just as with the Reparations Commission, that has been meeting to make sure that the best people are hired to be the special prosecutor. The Special Criminal Division of our High Court has also been established to look into these cases. And as you know, there are ongoing negotiations with ECOWAS to establish an internationalized tribunal to look into the most serious crimes that our laws do not cover, such as enforced disappearance, torture, crimes against humanity. I know when I speak of all of this, you just say, it's just too slow. We need it now. We need it yesterday. And really, it is not falling on deaf ears. But we are a nation of processes of rule of law. We want to do things, not just quickly, but properly and fairly. That is what will set us apart from what we were before, where one person will make a decision and implement all by themselves. We want to do better. What we can promise you is that we are with you. There is in fact very little or no separation between victims and government. Government is made out of people. Many of those people are direct victims themselves. Many of them are certainly indirect victims. We hear you. We're working hard with the little resources that we have. And that's why days like these are important, so that we can interface. Because that acknowledgement is so important. And for that to continue, I really want to emphasize, Sarah, what you said about the importance of memorialization. Because in the lifespan of the human, we only have, 70 years, 80 years? The Gambia will be forevermore. What are we going to leave behind for our children? How do we ensure that they never forget, that they never do the same? And on that front, again, I'd like to applaud everybody that's working on developing the national memorialization strategy. So that days like these are not ad hoc, and they're not dependent on the Chancellor's foot. Days like these are part of our national program, whether it's November 11 or April 10 and 11 or another day. They become part of our national memorial program. So developing the strategy, agreeing on how we're going to memorialize, how we will never forget. That is also a very important process, and that as well is ongoing. So to summarize, and thank you really for listening to me, I just wanted to say that there is will. And oftentimes where we are slow, it's not because there isn't will, it's probably because it's just a complicated issue that involves many people thinking through it. Maybe it's about resources not being available at the time, but the will has not faltered. We hear you, we're working on addressing your issues for a better you, but also for a better Gambia. I must thank you, first and foremost, for your resilience, as Sarah has said it, particularly the mothers, for the children of the November 11 victims as well, for your determination to live and live a good life. I must also, of course, thank the Human Rights Commission. Apologies, Commissioner Lee, giving you my back, but to thank the National Human Rights Commission for truly fulfilling its mandate to the Gambia, ensuring that rights are protected and promoted. I'd like to thank the Alliance of Victim-led Organizations, which includes you as well, to say that not only has your work been very important, but just the manner in which you're organizing yourself is really telling of your strength and resilience. And so thank you for coming together in this alliance, all the victim-led organizations. And of course, I want to thank the National Assembly for passing laws that we need to be able to continue working on these issues, whether it's reparations, justice, memorialization, whatever it may be. I have to thank the partners for supporting us through these celebrations, through our transitional justice process. That's, of course, we said UNDP, but also OHCHR, the Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights, and PDF, the Peace Building Fund. I'm not sure if I've missed anybody, but if I have, I do apologize. Just to say that we are deeply grateful as a people, as a government, for everybody that hears us and everyone that supports us in what is truly important. I apologize again that I have to go. I won't be able to be here for the rest of the program, but rest assured, Ms. Sabinian certainly is an extension of me, and she's taking note of everything that would be said here today. But this is not the first time we are meeting with you, whether it's Mr. Tugu, Mr. Balosidi, or through the Alliance of Victim-led Organizations, not to predict what you're going to say. Absolutely not, but to say that we definitely heard your call for reparations, justice, and all other issues to be worked on, and to be worked on as quickly as possible, because you have waited a very long time. It has not fallen on deaf ears. So again, thank you. I wish you a blessed day in commemoration, not just sadness of who we have lost, but celebration for the life that they have lived. And on a personal note, 6 years ago today, November 11, I lost my mother. So it's personally a very special day as well to me. So we are grateful for the life that they lived. We pray that they're in a much better place. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to welcome all of you in our headquarters and asking you to feel free while your headquarters, as we all know, human is everybody's business. Everybody has something to play. I'm leaving you very soon because I want to come here and Minister of Justice, the person and the Commissioner of Drama. But rest assured you are left in a very safe and comfortable hands of our ES, Dr. Rausu Kasama. He will take care of you. Don't hesitate to ask anything you want here. He has it. Coffee, tea, milk, bread, everything is with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Diana. Thank you, Ida. Yes.
Our big apologies. I would be happy to
Imam?
taking somebody's business.
Is this? Yes.
Okay, then I do something here.
We have to chat with the Yes. Can you check about that, sorry? Please. Okay. Thank you very much, Ida. And I think we've heard her words, what she has said about the work and the commitment of the Gambia government. As low as it may be, it is there, and we have to acknowledge and appreciate that. And I really want to pick on what she said. For me, that is one of the biggest things today, is the really resilience and the strength of the families that have brought you so far up to this year. 30 years is a long time. Some of the things you mentioned about the operations you've heard also, I think it's very reassuring to hear that the entire sales of the Insurance Corporates from Maryland will be dedicated to the Reparations Commission, $2.5 million US. That's about 170 Gambian dollars. That would be used to set up the kick off the Reparations Commission. So that's still not obviously not enough, because if we look at just the amount that the TRC left over, it's over 200 million US, $200 million, but it is a commitment that we must acknowledge and appreciate that has come our way, and hopefully also the budget allocations from the annual government national budget would support this process, not just for the compensation, the monetary compensation, but also for the medical support. It's a very important element and a very costly process for a lot of victims. So the Reparations Commission would also be taking care of the medical support, education support. Those are all part of their mandate that the Commission has been given to work on. I would want to take this opportunity to really clarify something that came across, that we came across a few weeks ago, where there's a misinformation that if victims accept the medical support that is being given now, it is going to be deducted from their compensation, the financial compensation. That is inaccurate. And I really urge you to come out. If you need medical support, it is there right now. It's being provided at the hospital with the medical board. The number to call is 545-9400 if you would like to see a doctor. 545-9400, and please spread that information so that we clarify. People might be needing support and at home. 545-9400. That is the number of the Victim Alliance organization that is supporting and coordinating the medical support for the victims. So please let let people know that the medical support that you're going to be getting from if you come to the hospital or see the doctors, it will not be deducted from, contrary to what is being spread out. It will not be deducted from your compensation. Compensation is a separate package that would be. You can always see me later, and I'll give you the number. I'm happy to give you the number, or you can call the victim center or call me to have my number, and I will share the information. I'm also happy, I don't know if some of you know that the Victim Center also currently has support for medical support as well, that can also be tapped into as we wait for the commission to properly set up. At this point, I think we are waiting for the National Assembly to confirm the name of the commissioners. And once those that is been confirmed, then the appointment will be done by the president, and the commission should get started. In the meantime, I believe Minister can confirm, right? We are in the process of setting up a space that the commission will be working on. So things are still moving, so we don't wait until one is finished. Everything's are moving in parallel, right? Kudos to the OCRC. Thank you for all the support that you've been giving us. So I'll hand over to the national coordinator of the Victim Center, Mr. Adam Ojalo, to give a brief statement on this really very significant day on November 11, 1994. Mr. Ojalo.
Thank you very much, I also want to thank the November 11 for organizing this event, commemorate the victims that has passed away during that November. It was a very November, we want to first and foremost, I want to acknowledge the presence of NHRC here, as well as the presence of victims and families of November 11. I also want to thank you for organizing this occasion, because it's important for people to tell their story, and I know you also have stories. And I'm happy to be here for sharing advices. Is also a program of his Victim Center. When she mentioned Abdul was almost a year or two old, and now we're talking about 30 years of incident that happened in which his father was also killed. So we want to reckon, and we want to, I personally don't want to go in depth into this, like Sheila said, because it traumatized victims. What had happened. We know that some of the soldiers were summarily executed, some were arrested, dismissed from their job. I think that is very unlawful. So this event today is to mark and honor those soldiers that were killed. And I hope, like you were also looking for justice for the crimes that were committed by the former government. For me, as national coordinator of the Ghana Center for Victims of Human Rights, I just want to mention some of the key issues that we would want government to push on when it comes to the 11th of November. Victim Center and other victim-led organizations are taking this opportunity to remind and urge the government through the Ministry of Justice and other relevant stakeholders such as the National Human Rights Commission, who are charged with the responsibility to monitor the implementation of the NHRC report and the government white paper. Continue searching for the remains of the soldiers, the remains of the soldiers who were improperly buried at the Yolo barracks and elsewhere, so that they can be received by their families for a befitting burial. We would also like the government to fulfill its promise in building a state-of-the-art forensic laboratory for the identification of exhumed bodies. We would also like to remind the government exhumed that are currently lying at the mortuary be identified and returned to their families. I think this is very crucial when we talk about November, because these are very key issues that we have to face. The remains of victims that are still lying at the mortuary needs to be identified and returned back to their families to have a befitting burial. Because if not, That, that kind of trauma will still, continue to traumatize victims. And at the same time, to see how best they can identify the human part, because I know there are some universities there which they could identify because of capacity. So we appeal to government to take it up and see how best they can get those bodies or events of those children so that the families can be reassured and have a feeling of their friends. To conclude, we would like to thank the government and all players in the ongoing TGA process in ensuring that the Liberation Commission is in progress. The medical board has been established and maintains receiving medical support. The accountability mechanism and the special protection office also established, all geared towards ensuring that all victims receive liberation, as well as ensuring that perpetrators are brought to book of justice. So these are key indicators for me from the Direction of Victims of Human Rights Violation to ensure that yes, we are happy that the Liberation Commission has been ongoing. They have been identified. The commissioners have been identified. I mentioned. So we are happy with the process. And I know like I said, some of them or some victims may feel like it is slow, but it's a process. Process has to go according to the way it is. You cannot rush things because if you rush things, you can't get the areas that you really want. So, what for me, as the victims, we are happy that it is ongoing. We are also assured that medical support is ongoing, and this element that we part of the medical board is also sharing the organization. We are happy to see that we have seen a lot of victims that have gone through the medical support. So for us, we are happy for that, but it's also part of the regulation, not just monetary. So we are also assured, by the Ministry of Justice that the special prosecution unit has been established. For us, that is reassuring to ensure that yes, government and the Ministry for will go and will go to justice. So for us, these are indicators that we are very happy here. And we also want to have the government, but at the same time, push on things so that we see the first words we are not destroying. So I thank you very much for organizing this event. I thank Tira, Shadow Education, and MOD for being with us today. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I just want to reiterate something very important, which is pushing. And when we talk about pushing the government and pushing things to move, the partners that are supporting us, it is not just the organization that it is their job, but all of us. All of us, when I say all of us, I mean all the victims. When we work together, we are stronger together. So it is very important that we are keeping tab of what is happening in the groups that we are. We are frequently going to the groups and looking up updates, asking questions, and just finding out where things are, being in the know of what is happening, and coming out when we need to come out. It is very important that when we stand, they see everybody standing together. That is the only way to push government. Government, not just Zambia government, but all governments, they have many priorities. And if you sit back, you might be forgotten. So we need to really be pushing hard every time. Pushing the government, not just pushing, criticizing, but also putting in all the support that we need. Because we always say it everywhere, government cannot do it alone. We also have to be resourceful and see how we can help, how we can support, how we can push it. So I want to really reiterate what Adam said at that point. And I know somebody is taking notes of what we are asking for. We've been asking for nothing new, I'm sure, something, right? There's nothing new on the list, is there? It's the same thing. Just a reminder. But I just want you to know that we're standing with you. You're not alone. We stand with you and we'll continue standing with you. We all stand together as a country, not just for these victims that are in this room today or those who have been commemorated, but all victims who have lost their lives, or their livelihood, so lost their health, lost their wealth, all forms of losses that we have been suffering to all victims. So next on the agenda, we have a statement by representative from the UNDP. The UNDP here. Is UNDP here?
UNDP.
No. Okay. All right. Then the International Human Rights Commission, Mr. Edie. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone here. Please allow me to start on the existing protocols. The National Human Rights Commission is very much delighted to partner with the victim organizations for the Commemoration. So, on behalf of the National Human Rights Commission of the Gambia, I would like to welcome you all and assure you of our continuous support, partnership, and collaboration in ensuring that victims of human rights violations are adequately reported. The celebration of this event, I think, is very crucial in the life of the family members. Just to give a bit of context to the reason why we are here today, November 11 incident was one of the foundations for systemic human rights violations in the country. And as you would recall, this came about in the very early days of the coup, when the former president came to power in July 94. So reality for 5 months, November 11 happened. And I was also privileged to work on the November 11 incident while I was at the NHRC. So it is really significant that we remember the life of these people that were brutally murdered by the dictator. And I would also like to join other speakers to call on the government to assist victims of human rights violations, to ensure that there is accountability, to ensure that victims are also adequately protected, and to ensure that those who need legal support are provided with the support that is needed. As we move forward and try to ensure that the TRC ever again mantra is kept alive, from there, and therefore we give continuous partnership to ensure that all these rights violations are adequately taken care of. While we recognize some of the milestones by the government, such as the passing of several legislations, including the Regulations Act and the version of the Special Prosecutors Office Act and the Special Accountability Mechanism law establishment of the Special Criminal Division of the High Court. Mechanisms are intended to ensure that rights violations. However, we would like to call on the government of the Gambia to ensure that of all these legislation that have been put in place, for example, the speedy confirmation of the commissioners for the Commission Commission, which is the victims of the human rights violation, but also the function of the Office of the Special Prosecutors to initiate criminal proceedings to ensure accountability. On behalf of the Commission, once again, I would like to welcome you. I wish you for a very memorable commemoration. I also extend our condolences once more and pray that Allah the Almighty will give the family the fortitude to bear the loss. And I encourage you that we are all in it together. Be rest assured of our support. I welcome you once again and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mansoor. very important points that you raised, and I just want to pick on the laws that have been enacted so far in this country. Some people have asked, why do we need all these laws? Why can't we just, start working on things? And I think I just want to refer back to what Ida said earlier in her statement, when she was here, saying that we came from a background where one person was making a decision on behalf of all Gambians and implementing it without thought for anything else. And we don't want to go back there. We want to do things the right way. You need to do the right thing, but you need to do it the right way. That is why it is very important to have these laws that we need to make sure that we are doing the right thing the right way, but also making sure that our commitment to never again is entrenched, and we are working together as a people, as a country, expressing our will through those laws, which goes through the process, the normal process it is supposed to go through the National Assembly, our representatives. So those laws, yes, the process of enacting laws is slow, but at the end of the day, we expect it to be the best for us as victims, alive now, and in protecting the next generations and generations to come. So very important aspect of the process. At this point, we have all the speakers. I want to revert back to Barlow. We have. We have to. Okay. In the absence of the UNDP statement, I think we have come to the end of almost the end of this session. I would just like to take a moment to ask you if you have any questions. Any clarifications with here. This is your day. Or you would like to say this is you want to function that we have. 30 years. So if anybody has any questions, or anybody, you don't have to be a victim, it could be from the media, from the participants, everybody who's here, if you would like to share, ask questions or make clarifications, please come forward so that we can all share and continue collaborating. I'm sure the commemoration will not stop here. Going on with your families and the rest of the country will not stop here today. But if we can, if anybody has any questions, clarifications, or anything to add to today's commemoration, please, the microphone is open. Yes, I just imagine when you speak, you don't have to speak in English. You can speak in any language that you feel comfortable in. My Mandinka is not that strong, but I'm sure you have strong Mandinka speakers here who will be able to address any concerns or questions or clarification that you may have. Maybe we can have, I think we talked about doing a short summary of what was said in the local languages. Do we have somebody to help us with that? Can we summarize what was said in English?
Good morning. The invitees and the families of abandoned victims.
Saying local languages, huh? Local languages, so summarize in local languages. Or you do your closing.
Mina dorong kuma kawal me forajan pour nge janjang na fo kawal me al modol be jas me moy bi mo lunna di dum me alon ko ni ku ya dolum family to mabe ben de jam nin ko be biamola mo na ba nin ko be jam fala aka na do ni ya de wala bari ale no min na ko fenne be mo du wado do nyaji de sa buka jara bari ni nga keta aka fenne la ko wado do be de dal ni na sunni na nim benta men keta na saka mo pour mo yalla mo do la promo mo ne dimin na ko so bawo nyimbal fa wata ba yen dol na mo be ni fa inata ye ba ke nyaala men man diyan to diya man diya mi sire ay bari inata ko ye wuri 2019 which is 2024 pour kawol identify no man sakunda ngalon ko wote cost $2.3 million bari ngaje janne ka $2.3 million mo kilin kunna to sira ndon yenda mo jela nim benda damen dum dimina men ko ali ngafo nim ma ho ta understand bawa ko mun ko ñunum dolo ko ma ko men koy ma moy ko to nim benda ñin sifa la ali kagal si ko ma ni ko diamo ali nga wuli nga diam mo be jan diamo be wuli bari ma nim benda close be max sen nawo bari kuma ka won men ko rajan na mitino ciama o sira ala kuma ko no aya dining in Napo November 11 timbali almen ke raje mantane silola lum atala kafo nimbe mustaka la bilaro ye mismo me alonko November 11 la ko beje kafo lol fana men alonko atrocities ke la timbali akete la ko beje oto wato lol dal I go emotional. I swear I go emotional anytime. See the morning at on the 11 November. So can maybe you come on and come on. But Skenya on and Alina because Ndolo Bejan Dulu eyewitness only. Basile Bejane, Sel Bejane, Omar Bejane. So Ndolo Ning Bensifake. Alina Longa na ya remember TRC ndolo no futi TRC ndo na futi bari ya TRC membe je bin safari al salone November 11 bin on fare to so ma ko passa bari bin dara ko passa men ni the president of the court martial is Captain Biranse assisted by the DPP as Akamba versus Akamba and SFA TRC lead council. SR online don't prosecute Yemo don't sort of Sakita. Udah itu yang dalam dunia TRC. Bahwa nasib itu nanti dia ko SR don't prosecute yang sort. So SR so nanti masih kabarnya ke mana? Pura kan yang kau personal nama aku lah aku jadi don't sort. Ini sebab itu. So the story behind November 11 exactly almaro. Kalau kita versi yang kesingkat, misal kalau orang nak, oh, ini momen dia mau berkuda. Dunyong orang macam, luar follow ini momen dia berkuda. Ini versi ini momen 2 infantry battalion Farafet. Mbota volleyball player, ATC school orang, tidak ada nak momen. No from me for when I'm captain, our kid, when the motor and side. Then you walk around in the bones around your mother. In the port, somebody you do when you don't just sell over. But no more money in the guy for the generation of young woman, young woman. November 11, ni mama for the mama. No more for the male sort of atrocities. Till November 11. November 11. Ning of Commander Go Anna Abe. My more I don't know more than Ako. Commission Puromen Ba Aloka. Nikum Commission Sai Paul Baker, apparently the Bansan, Kalim de Bon. Negotiate the Bon, Oriental Commission of Walla Tombon. They will come up and do with it. Income from Mr. Jana more may along for the way and if you want to get a port. Alin Kanasi Natukomo. And Nima for Lugano. Look, a former berry. She let go cooking on Yaman. Well, I'm going to go Kibar on the Bible, Sula Walla, she let go cooking. So the Nani University, I put it on for the local Korean. Then a dollar long. But on Naka, more even even the color for the day. Be moving the Dominion Gambia history, even Dunia history. Because November 11 is part of atrocities is blown. Bandai ni benda Lingakata, Nadia Mune, and the Pulo Manda, Sierra Leone, yes, Victimw Mealongo, in Asia, Record Sotal, Dolva Median, Ning Adoya, Ning Bilumosita, Lingakata, and Afudilla, Nadia. Laval.
Now, we want to see if they want to talk. Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam. It is never easy, but we have to continue the fight. As he said, you are the victims, and you are the ones that need to come forward when these things happen. Yes, we will have the prosecutions, but it is important we keep telling our stories. Our stories should not be kept in the dark. It is very important we keep telling our stories. So on that note, I would like to invite anybody who has a question or who wants to add to what has been said today in commemorating the event that happened that changed all our lives. Everybody here present, I'm sure that it was the change, one of the biggest changes in your lives, you have experienced so far. So more this is why I don't speak Mandinka. No. He's laughing at me.
That was perfect.
Okay.
That was perfect.
Oh yeah. Oh, we want to come forward. Okay. And please feel free to speak any language that you feel comfortable. You don't have to speak English. We can all understand.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Ngeen baal ma nag dama socc. Bisi tey bii nii ci November 11 bi bisi naxar la bési fàttaliku loo xam ne la ay bakkan yu bari ñoo rotoon ñi seen bakkan rotoon itam ñu toroxal leen te wéeruñ ko woon fen tey bii saa yu jotee daje am na daje amut xol yaa ngi tooy ñuy fàttaliku lu metti di fàttaliku loo xam ne du woon dëgga teguñ ko ci yoon parce que November 11 man November 11 yow November 11 ñu ne coup d'état la coup d'état boo xam ne yow fekkuloo borom ak benn gànnaay fekkuloo borom muy organise wala muy def meeting boo xam ne loolu moo ko waral pour jóg dem coup d'état la ba pare kenn ci ñoom mu ngi amee woon caabi amoore bi te wax dëgg yàlla nag boo jógee pour xeexi te yore ngànnaay war nga koo mun a jël waaye ngànnaay yooyu nga bàyyi ko gannaaw dem di xeexi amewuloo benn ngànnaay yow kon jarut ngay dem di xeex kon mu ngi mel ni lii yëpp ay sos la woon lii yëpp luñ leen tuumaal la tuumaal boo xam ne teg nañ ko ci seen kaw ba pare rey leen ñii ñu toocole ñii ñu tëj leen ci kaw loo xam ne teguñ ko fenn moo tax ma ne bési tey bii bési naxar la bési fàttaliku lu métti la waaye nag ba tey ñuy wax ne yax yi nga xam ne ñoom lañ sulli woon fële ne le naka Yundum Barracks depuis kañ ba léegi ñaata at léegi ñu nga ne le sa mortuaire bi ñu ngi ko fa teg defuñ ci dindiwuñ ci laaluñ ko waxuñ sax lu ci jëm léegi nag yax yooyu noonu dafa nekk ba kañ yax yooyu foofu la mooy nekk ba kañ at least foog naa nit ku nekka dëgg la mass grave la woon waaye ndegam dem nañ ba sulli ko su fekkoon ne identifié nañ ko dinañ leen mun a jaarale fi ñuy jaarale jullit yi mun leen a suul benn loolu lañ gënoon a soxla te tamit nit ki boo koy dimbale saa yu nekk dama ko dee wax nit ki soo ko dimbale danga koy dimbale ci waxtu bi nga ko soxlaa waaye puus bi dëgg la de ñu ngi try waaye puus bi dafa yàgga na métti na victime si àngee sofa victime si àngee dem benn li ma miin dem mooy am na si ñoo xam ne dañoo feebar amul luñ fajoo ba dañ cee jógee ñàkk seen bakkan am na si ñoo xam ne seen xale yaa ngi doon toog si kër gi mënuñu leen a fayal ñu jànga am na si ñoo xam ne ñu ngi feebar toog amuñ luñ fajoo dëgg la nag depuis boobu ba léegi xëy na suñ leen doon xaar tooguñ yàccaaral di leen xaar waaye nag lu war a am la li war a am moom nañ ko def ko ci waxtu biñ ko war a defee asalaamaaleykum.
Next. Okay. Let me change. This one shaky. Yes. Okay. Assalamualaikum. Okay. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Jadi kini akan dibaca pada produksi maam ayi ni satu lagi. Anu sudah ni nak gomba ini mul kapan dia sudah mau strategi. Soldier GA will military national army and they are professional soldiers. Ye yadu wala leleka wala eliminate from the military wala wala ni kama takala wala kisama. The personally they confident in them. They yende punkido la personally. Ini bungo hani man sama le bitaro ko pajara. Ni ko wala ngama ala pajara ni marol ala yo by maybe you will need to go katonya ko mo man katonya maybe ke go ni ko they are trying to eliminate certain soldiers maybe more professional soldiers because most of these other soldiers are from general they are not professional soldiers so kamala kuna national army ikataka mungu tatokika ke samba ke fafala Ipinga jele meli ya loko. Ika bayne tulubule kono ka fara. Ke fa anyhow they like. No jele. Kilo ka bule like. No, abe ka sabna almale de ka kita sabna almale mo jele sa ka na. Omar, my name is Omar Kamara, known as Omar Nyai, a medical personnel, because me, I was a medical personnel in the army. It I don't know for the university in summer. Without knowing what is happening. So obviously this can show the people that it's all right. After all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have a question or something to add to it? Yes, you can ask a question.
Okay. So, my name is Victimw. I'm a journalist. So, my question is to MOJ. I know that they issued list of persons who they said will be banned and not be working in the government. And I've been reporting on these things. So there's, with regards to specifically for the November 11, in the recommendations, there is a list of officers who the government has said should be banned for 10 years. And they're quite a bit there. So I just wanted to get the confirmation from MOJ to show that at least that one recommendation, which I think they recognize those as the hanging fruits, the low hanging fruits, right, which can be done. And I know you guys have started that initiative. How is it, how those persons suddenly been removed from Gambia government or from the military security?
Thank you, Yusuf. Assalamualaikum. I think I'm speaking for the first time, so my use opportunity, right? Only if you talk me. Jadi, baru ni orang keluar ni, main for the first time. Kalau nak contoh baca dengan new video ni, dia pun ni jadi dia si dia dengan organize ni, konten itu. Comme ayah kau ni, jadi mah contoh rumah orang kuat orang, ini nak jadi dia dengan kau beri say in response to your question regarding the lands, you would recall that a legislation was passed around the time that the Victims' Reparations Act was passed as well, which is the Land for Public Office Act. So after that, we had the list of people that need to be banned, but then you would realize that MOJ is not the hiring authority for the government. So we are now working with the Ministry of Public Service because we is under them. So we've had a meeting and they asked for an opinion, which we're working on right now. But prior to that, even before the legislation was passed, we had written to the respective institutions to ask that these personnel be placed on administrative leave. And that was the time we realized that we actually do not have any legal framework to just ban people. Because if you look at the civil service rules and the general laws, we have definitions for compulsory retirement, but all of those are connected to human rights violations. It's more or less for administrative malpractices or other things like that. So this is actually the first time that the government would be banning people which is based on human rights violations. So when we had the meeting with the Public Service Ministry, it asked us to give them guidelines in terms of how they can now execute it. So that is what we've been working on at our level at the ministry. And we're hopeful that very soon it will be dangerous and the issue will be resolved.
Can I have a follow-up? Just one follow-up. Just one follow-up question. So the only follow-up question is, considering that there is an act, the NHRC Ban Act, and in that act, there's supposed to be an appendix list. This is a law. How comes that there is not been the list has not just been gazetted and the law, the institutions must comply by the law? You can make me help me understand.
Yeah, there's no list. The act didn't come with a list.
Appendix, right?
No, there's no appendix to the act. What the law provides is that those banned would be published in the Gazette. And that is what would now become a sort of an annex. So, because the act also makes provision that for people that are maybe prosecuted, in addition to being sentenced, the court would also give them, make an order for them to be banned for holding public office. If you look at the legislation, it didn't come with any annexes. It's just basically saying that whoever was recommended to be banned from the TRRC would be banned. And if you're familiar with the white paper, you realize that the bans are technically in categories. There are some that the government said we agree and we would implement it, but there were 7 categories of people that they said required further investigations. So if you go back to the white paper, you can see that there were certain people that they said we needed to do further steps. And the policy reason, I mean, they had their reason for doing that. I do not say that, but these are people that were working in high-ranking officials, have access to a lot of, security issues and stuff. So I guess that was the reasoning behind it. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Tomorrow morning, see, Kalamana Sarah, we have lunch at the Commemoration. We will one day, they want to see the war holiday, one year and then one day, Julia, and then you attend. Former president, do the city to the water in government. So, Macaron, they been on the material, use national assembly. As he would be out on the rest of the moment, would talk like Dahana or Rodiat. So, when the data is set up for implement, means you already implement, then you like when you jump at them, you have the high session. You are the ruling you want to use. So, Ministry of Office for Ministry of Justice ruling a sort of like a legal opinion. So, I'm not sure where so you're feeling the implementation because they don't send why most of the time see Haiti now take the but any sort of law would really human rights violations because we will TRRC also. So right now, see all the so the Falachi follow question and I actually am going to be. So when I actually am going to be. TRRC, not every board, you recommend. And we will know those recommendations. And then you have made a ban, but many they will get a union ban, while they look at it for the jail you do it, but I know finalize on the system. Thank you.
Administrative leave.
Wow, administrative leave is a more due to act. So when you don't talk about really policy because the question every time it comes up, and then you have the abandonment why do you know the form and you know security institutions here. What they you sign up, they recommend from your bank. The left they call administrative leave. They don't have been at one and you want to the following on administrative leave. So still until the next step, which was to pass the law, they didn't implement law. When you have the list, we have already developed the list, and then more all we have to do right now is to implement it. In August, just August a day more, we will get new news. Then have the use and banding from 5 years or banding for 10 years.
When you go like 5 years or 5 years, you can not effective because the TRRC recommendations in every day.
Exactly.
So 5 years from the recommendation, the 5 years after will continue. So not going to go with them.
So why some of actually the challenges why didn't control because Manuna was one why at the end of the day you will have to be a policy decision that people maybe Minister of Justice or Minister of Public Service will take, which would be way above my pay grade. waaw so boobu moom dina jafe pour ma tontu si la doon laajte rek mooy comme ban bi ban yàlla moo jël effet so lu ma ko doon wax mooy ne mun naa ko wax suma gis-gis waaye loolu man suma gis-gis la moo nekk parce que décision boobu moom ñi ko jël mooy ñi nga xam ne ñooy head institutions ñoom ñooy decide based on lan lañ foog mooy nekk dara rek.
Kenn beneen laajte loolu si bëgg a teg balaa ñoo ndaje bi.
ok comme nekk nii kenn amatul benn laajte wala lu si bëgg a teg comme ni ma ko waxee rek xam naa ne commémoration bi moom daje bi tasaaroo ba toog jeex te may ñaax rek famille si bi toog ne lii ñu continuer ko buñ soona buñ bàyyi parce que fàtte loolu moom mbiri doomu aadama la dañ leen fàtte te buñ ko seetlee suñ boppa li suñ ko mënee establish mu nekk loo xam ne dafa am every year wala ñu bool ñi nekk si task force memorialisation bi nga xam ne duñ fàtte bés yu mel nii am na solo lool pour ñun nag waaye pour suñ doom yi ak suñ sët yi ak suñ sensitaat yi pour ñu xam ne lii xewoon na fi ñu jàng mu nekk lu ñoo jàngatee lu ñoo jàng pour xam ne lii lu ñaaw la war a xew te war ñoo nangu mu xew fii so am na solo lool so may ndokkale rek November 11. ok.
Personally, I think it's hospital down there.
Yes.
And then I was attended by doctors.
Yes.
And since then, I remember it was about 3 months or so, even more than that. But since then, I didn't hear anything about that. And then I was seen by the doctors.
Yes.
About the
Okay.
So since then, I didn't hear anything about me anymore.
Okay, so with the medical support, it's ongoing. Those that have been coming and been seen by the doctors, majority of them, almost all, everybody has been recommended for further investigations, to do tests and investigation. And I know you're one of them. I think you and I spoke, you just don't know that it was me. We spoke, you are the one that put in your support, your paperwork, right? But anyway, I know that we spoke on the phone, we just don't know that it was me, yes. So yes, the investigations, we have been waiting for the arrangement. Some of the tests are not available in the country. Right now, some of the tests take time, but we have, the good news is that we have started the arrangements for investigation since last week. Since last week, we started now bringing in people whose tests are available at the hospital right now. So some people, you have not been called because your test is not available maybe in the country, or maybe some of the machines. I know sometimes people, there are some of the machines that were not working. These are some of the challenges that we face. And some of the doctors not being available as well. But since last week, those that have referred for further investigations are being called to come. It's once a week, and we have I think about 50 people that need to come for further investigation. It's once a week, and we can only call 4 people at a time. That is why it is slow. But the further investigations have started. We are working with the different doctors and different departments to make appointments. Some of the appointments are so far ahead that you will have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for anybody to get an appointment. That is where we are at. And that's the challenge, and that's one of the reasons why it's slow. But it has started. That is the good news. So at some point you will be called once your test is available. You will be called to come back for your investigations.
I think you have given your telephone number.
Yes. 5459400.
I have one concern concerning this medical. Because some of us, we live in the provinces. Going up and down is very easy for us.
Yes.
Is it possible for the team to come to the provinces?
This is something that is actually in their mandate that was set by the Minister of Justice. And I think the first Victimw town hall that we had, the medical team was there. So what the challenge they have raised is that the group of doctors that have been selected to be part of the medical board are our top doctors, and they see all patients in the country.
No, I don't mean the medical board. Medical assistance.
The medical assistance.
I went to the medical board.
Yes. Well, so right now the medical board is what is available. So I think that would be when the commission sits, this is what they will be considering for the commission to decentralize it. Right now, what they are doing actually is once you are seen by the board and your investigations is completed and they know what is wrong with you, they are referring you, they are writing and referring you to your nearest hospital or clinic so that you will go there and take medication. But until they find out what is wrong with you, what exactly is wrong with you through the investigations, then they will not be able to refer you. Can you explain that in America? I can only say it. Decentralization is very important. Decentralization is very important. I think it's very important. It's difficult coming here. Even if you are provided for fare, you are not well. And we all know how our roads are. Coming here is difficult. It's challenging. And sometimes some people find it difficult to find places to stay because you have to come the night before, and sometimes you have to spend another night and go the day before, and you don't have a place to stay. So it's very difficult and challenging. But at this point in time, our health system is not as strong as it needs to be or it should be for everybody. I'm saying it in a nice way. We all know our health system. Sometimes you go and the tests are available and so many challenges. So that is why everybody has to come. But we are working on decentralizing. Once the investigation is done and they know what is your medical condition and what treatment you need, they are going to be referring you now. Actually, from last week they have started. One of the patients have been referred, he came from URR. He's been given a paper, so this treatment is going to continue in URR. So that is what is going to happen. Once they investigate and know what is wrong with you, they will be now referring you to your hospital in your region or the closest clinic where you can be treated. So if you can please translate that, I think it's very important.
Assalamu alaikum. Kami fere wale miti ko jara lama mekeka. Bawon toldo besirin mamputa jak mafona tolbe ndo masuko ko mafona. Anum medela ko fanya ko medical board ni bahkan nebari nimu mayalon ko yeju be fay pareda ni aje ko ibe mafona men na oro sisukoroje lo fano mi sufatela si ko kay to bi destal taw ari mbega yelen ko no lo fano dunna bi jam garalo dunna bi jam be kan ko ro kamala abako le aba ko bari hano yawon baawo do ura passe wala ko mo kale aba na kay to bi na bali garalo ko tela passe bari nte fele ante bara mo so ko kale nte wi ka lembe jame to right now ngam mo lite tubi ngam mo lite bari meno yela fere ko kala de I'm partially blind on my right eye, but the left eye, what about I can do facility muscle and dollar euro. To Mansala when Yamanin will fall the walk. Salon go up, put inside what you know, Nico and I can not.
Okay, thank you very much, Babu, for translating. So with the medical board and the medical support, we are here, Alliance of Victim Organization and the Victim Center. Any victim organization that you have access to will be able to help you so that we can continue making sure that those who need the support are getting access. We will set up the appointments when they are available and call you to come in. So on that note, I would like to thank everybody who's here present, and those that wanted to make it but could not, and those that had to leave us early to continue on the work. Like they said, they are continuing on the work. They are not leaving here just to go, but they're here. They're going to continue the work. And just to also reiterate that we all need to stand together. We need to taxaw jàppale wante suñ ootee ñu jóg su waxtee ñu wax su dem jotee ñu dem loolu yëpp dafa am solo parce que suñ ootee nga gis benn ñaari nit mburu dañoo ne ñi amuñ si interest mun nañoo teg waaye suñ ootee ñëpp ñoo taxaw loolu li moo firnde dafa am nekk lu am solo so ma di leen wax jërëjëf rek la baraka baake xam nañ ne ñeneen ñi fi ngeen jógee sori na li yoon bu yombut ñu leen wax jërëjëf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Ñu ñaanal ñu fi jógee fu ñu koy defee balaa ñu commencé ko ñaan tëjee ko ñaan ñaanal suñu bopp ñaanal ñu fi jógee ñëpp novembre 2019 ñaanal réew mi ñu ñaan wér gu yaram yàlla may ñu doole jëppot yàlla doole leen so ñu ñaan that. Yes, you want to go to bed? Okay.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على قبلنا ربنا لا تحملنا على ما لا تقدر به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. السلام عليكم.
Thank you, everybody. And yes, logistics, please wait for the transport reports. Follow up